Hello, I'm Lauren Green, and welcome to Bias Bash. Yesterday in Hoboken, New Jersey, a deadly train crash occurred, injuring 100 and killing 1. And that is investigators still searching for the cause of the crash. The train, filled with passengers and traveling very fast, slammed into a bumper block, went airborne, and hit the concourse at the Hoboken train station at about 8:45 a.m. Now, this crash has sent the media into a frenzy covering the event, but how does their coverage affect what we know about what happened? Here to break it down for us is Fox News contributor Judy Miller. Welcome, Judy.
Hi, Lauren.
So tell me a little about the crash and explain how the media really was handling this.
Well, I think what's really important is that, of course, the media reporters are going to concentrate on how did this crash occur, why did it occur, could it have been stopped? Those are the immediate questions you ask. But there was at least one article in the New York Times and a couple of other newspapers that explored the underlying and all-important issue of what about the safety record and the operations of New Jersey Transit, which is the third busiest commuting system in the country, in the nation.
That safety issue, that's a first-day story. You don't wait till the 5th day to cover that. That's a first-day issue.
And you've got to look at New Jersey Transit, because the problem is not just this crash, but New Jersey Transit had a terrible bus accident last month in which 2 buses collided in Newark and 2 people were killed. You're beginning to have a really troubling safety record, and you have to ask, why is this? What's going on at New Jersey Transit? And I think what this article suggests, and what I've been able to determine from my initial reporting on this, is that this is a transit system which has been starved of the cash that it needs to operate safely and efficiently. It is $45 million, and there's a $45 million gap in its budget. Governor Chris Christie has been unable to come to an agreement with the state legislature about funding the transit fund, which provides 1/5 of its budget. So, for example, last year, New Jersey Transit got approximately $35 million from the trust fund to do repairs, to do improvements in safety. That is 1/10 of what the system used to get in 2009. So this has led people like Marty Barron, who is a deputy executive director of the fund, to complain that this is a fund that is being starved of the capital that it needs to provide safe and efficient transportation for people.
Is this, and I know this is the media's job for actually kind of unearthing this,
right.
But is this more of a state issue, or is this a federal funding, because the federal funding, is not funding its infrastructure like transportation?
It's both, but in this case, it is definitely a New Jersey issue. It is another example of Governor Christie not wanting to raise gas taxes, and he's really punishing transit people who take public transit, to prevent people who use their cars from having gasoline prices raised. Chris Christie was not willing to fund the tunnel that the federal government wanted to mostly pay for. Now he's not willing to give the transit fund the money that it needs desperately to run its systems. You cannot run efficient public transportation in this country without not only federal subsidies, but the states really doing their part. And Mr. Christie repeatedly has been unwilling to do that.
Is this about a re-election issue, or is this about just, I'm not sure what we're looking at, because one of the things we talked about, the positive train control, because that came out yesterday when it happened, that this train did not have the positive train control. Everybody kind of understands what that is, which is a system which operates by GPS.
Right.
Slows down the train if it's coming in too close to the station.
That's right.
So that you don't have these kinds of issues.
Exactly. If its speed exceeds what it should be for an area. The problem with that argument is, one, we don't know that the installation of that equipment would have prevented this crash, because we don't know why the crash occurred as yet. But second of all, that system was not scheduled to go into the trains until 2018. And so there was no obligation on the part of the transit system to put it in earlier, even though since the last crash we had on a railroad, they were, there was a desire that train systems in this country would install that safety equipment as soon as possible. But once again, you can't install anything if you have a $45 million gap in the budget.
You bring up a good point about the the budget issue, and I brought up that it was a first day kind of issue, you know, like what's the problem here? But one of the issues that if we can't get to the problem of funding unless we understand exactly what went wrong. You know, and that's really, is it too much is it too soon to be talking about that issue when we don't really know what the problem was? Maybe money had nothing to do with it.
It's entirely possible, but we do know that this is a very troubled agency now, and troubled agencies tend to have safety and other problems. Look, they haven't had an executive director, New Jersey Transit, for a year. The last executive director, who was a woman who was very highly respected, went to work for the MTA in New York. And so they've been searching for a new executive director for a year, and the one person they found and had offered him the job, he turned it down. The board of New Jersey Transit hasn't met for 3 months. Where's the oversight?
Wow.
What's going on at this agency? It is not a moment too soon to ask questions like that.
All right, I want to thank you so much. Good stuff, Judy. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you want to hear more media analysis on the week's top headlines, catch Media Buzz with Howard Kurtz, Sundays at 11 a.m. Eastern and again at 5 p.m. Eastern on the Fox News Channel. I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.